achieved.
All right, what's up, everybody, and welcome to Studio Day Jefre for your weekly game preview. And we'll start with TJ Watt is probably about to be very much like Thanos. He's about to be inevitable. You know, we're not going to talk about how the Cowboys should have TJ Watt on the team, and it should be TJ Watt and Tank Lawrence as your edge guys. We're not going to talk about that, you know? We're just going to let that go. We're just going to talk about the matchup. Cowboys-Steelers. It's going to get ugly. I believe this has the makings of an Oprah game. You get a sack, and you get a sack, and you get a sack, and you get a sack. And we're talking to TJ Watt and Bud Dupree and Stephon Tuitt and Cam Hayward. I think all four will get a sack for a total of 6 or 7. I think that's about to happen. Maybe more. They're going to start Terrence Steele against the best pass rusher in the NFL, TJ Watt. TJ Watt plays over there. I don't know which way the video would say I'm saying. He usually plays the left side of their defense. Terrence Steele plays the right side of the O-line. So get ready, Blake Bell and Zeke. Get ready to try to help on TJ Watt. So the way I like to do my previews, and I do have some great mailbag questions from you guys that I'm going to get into, but the way I like to do my previews is when the Cowboys run, when the Cowboys pass. When the Steelers run, when the Steelers pass. What gives you a chance? Where do you have your advantages? And I will give you the guys that are the matchups that are worth watching in this game because, look, it's likely a lost season. You're likely going to get run. I don't think the spread's big enough. I think the Cowboys are going to lose by 20 plus. But when the Cowboys have the ball, they're on offense, and they elect to run, how's that going to go? Good news. Steeler linebackers, not very good. Bad news. Steeler defensive front, outstanding. So I'm going to say advantage Steelers, even when the Cowboys try to run the ball, because I think the other thing the Steelers are going to do, they're not making this up when they're talking about how Zeke is what they're worried about. They are not worried about what's eating Garrett Gilbert grape at Cowboys quarterback. They ain't worried about it. So if you can make that hurt, so be it. You're probably going to have some good looks for your wide receivers. If your quarterback can be protected and if he can get the ball out, maybe you got a chance. But I will say advantage Steelers when the Cowboys run because I think the Steelers will key on that. And I will say advantage Steelers when the Cowboys pass because you have to block TJ Watt, Bud Dupree, Cam Hayward, Stephon Tuitt. Good luck. Good luck. When the Steelers play offense, this is going to sound crazy. I don't mind sounding crazy. Remember leaving the comments what you want to talk about tomorrow. And hit the thumbs up. Mash that button. Comments for the algorithm, even if you don't have a question. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. So what I meant was make sure you leave a comment with what you'd like to hear about tomorrow. When the Steelers have the ball, their offensive line, meh. Just okay. Their wide receivers obviously are very good. Chase Claypool, rookie out of Notre Dame, is breaking out. Deontay Johnson, my guy, out of Toledo, is baller. Oh, man, I left a plate in the video. What the hell, bro? Juju Smith-Schuster, they're good at receiver. James Conner's a good back. Ben Roethlisberger's still a good quarterback. Their offense is good. The reason that they're averaging over 30 points per game, I believe they're just over 30 a game, is because they have a great defense. It's not because they have a great offense. They have the pieces of a really good offense, but they have not been a great offense to this point in the year, but they're undefeated, and they have a great defense. They have a good offense. So when the Steelers try to run the ball, boy, I'm tempted to say advantage Cowboys. But I can't because the Cowboys have no defensive tackles. Tyrone Crawford's getting blocked over there somewhere, and Neville Galmore's trying his hardest at least. Maybe he'll become a player, but Crawford's getting pushed over there somewhere, and it's all bad in the middle for the Cowboys. Their linebacker play has to be better. So when the Steelers run, advantage Steelers, and when the Steelers pass, advantage Steelers. The only wild card there is I do think the Cowboys can get pressure. I do think that Tank, Randy Gregory, and Aldon Smith, I think those guys can get home against this offensive line, especially Tank. I think the Steelers' right tackle That's your matchup. Okorafor at right tackle against Tank Lawrence, that's your matchup. If they let it be one-on-one, you got a chance. Now, unfortunately, what's going to happen here is the Steelers are going to get 6 to 8 sacks, probably 2 sack fumbles, at least 1 pick, maybe 2. Cowboys may get a pick or a sack fumble, but they're going to lose the turnover battle by 2 or 3, perhaps 4. And they're going to lose 30. 28 would be 4 touchdowns. Let's throw in 3 field goals. It would be 31, 34. 37 to 10. 37-10 Steelers. So, break out your wallet. All right, let's get to the mailbag. Mailbag! Asmodeus. Jeff, in layman's terms, what are some of the visual distinguishing characteristics of a team tanking the season without coming out and just saying it outright? Ooh, that's easy. Now, a lot of teams are going to declare this before a year starts when they're going to tank, because what they'll do is they'll be willing to eat cap money. You have guaranteed money on contracts, and you'll be like, oh, they can't trade that guy. He's got guaranteed money. They'd have dead cap. They don't care because they're not planning on winning. So teams will trade away veterans that have guaranteed money, so they'll be eating cap money where they can't replace the guy, and they'll send away decent veteran players. Miami did that last year. So that's a tank maneuver. Obviously, playing your young players is a tank maneuver. Football's a little different because the tanking, it's not like you're trying to lose games, right? Your front office might be by trading people and moving on from guys, but your players and your coaches are not trying to lose games. You just need to not have enough good players to win. So, like, the Cowboys aren't tanking. They're not. I just call it team tank because it's fun. The Cowboys are going to try their very best. They're just incredibly shorthanded and they can't win. At least not very many games. But yeah, tanking teams, they'll go into the season and they'll be like, all right, guys, bad news. Our team sucks. And that's not good. We don't have a quarterback. So let's start flipping veterans for draft picks. We're going to eat that money. But then a year later, we'll have that money freed up. We'll have gotten extra picks for it. We'll be bad enough to hopefully pick a quarterback. We'll have extra picks from trading our veterans, and we'll have money for free agency because we traded away the guys who make money. Those are your tank moves. That's a tank. James Ward, are you in favor or against Mike Nolan being the defensive coordinator next season? Against. And how can you have faith in McCarthy going forward when factoring his hiring of a failed DC as his D coordinator? Based upon that decision alone, I can't have confidence in him as head coach. That's fair. I'm still cool with McCarthy. I'm cool with Kellen Moore. I got no problem with the offensive coaching staff. I think the defensive coaching staff, the alarming thing should have been that he has a bad track record as a defensive coordinator. He hasn't been good at it in his career. And then you bring him back after he hadn't done it for a while, and you're like, all right, and here's a defense that's not very good. Good luck, coach. And then you're like, oh, and there was a pandemic, and I'm going to change schemes, even though McCarthy said that we were players over scheme. I'm going to jam my scheme in here. I'm not a Nolan guy at the moment. I'd be totally down with moving on from Nolan and doing something different a year from now. But you know what the Cowboys are going to do? That's what I worry the Cowboys are going to do. Well, now he's got a full off season to put in his defense. Now we're ready to rock, baby. So if I had to guess, I would say Mike Nolan might stick around, and they'll just say, look, we were hurt. Mason, if we stay at pick 5 and don't trade down, would you go Patrick Surtain, Alabama, Caleb Farley, Virginia Tech corner, those are both corners, or Sean Wade to address DB? Sean Wade right now is not going to the top 5. If you've watched the first 2 Ohio State games, he's been playing outside instead of the slot, and it has not gone great for him so far. So, well, we'll keep watching Ohio State. We'll keep watching Sean Wade. Or if you really like them, Rousseau, that's Miami pass rusher, or Micah Parsons, that's Penn State linebacker. Mason, I'm going to be honest with you. This will be your home for draft coverage. And I'll probably do all 22 film breakdowns for individual prospects. You will have that. I don't know yet. I haven't started. I will, probably in the next week or 2. I'll get started, and then you can decide for yourself because you can watch tape with me, and we'll figure these guys out. Daniel, if the Cowboys manage to get in a position to draft Penei Sewell, once again, college player, Oregon, offensive tackle, does he walk into a starting spot on the O-line next season? What does that mean? Does that mean we have a conversation with Tyron about his future? If you drafted a great offensive tackle or a great offensive tackle prospect on this offensive line, if Tyron's healthy and Lyle Collins is healthy, that draft pick is going to play guard. And when there comes an opening at tackle or an injury, then perhaps he plays tackle. But if you drafted an offensive lineman in the top 10 and your guys come back healthy next year, that offensive lineman's playing guard, at least initially. Christopher, hey, buddy, glad to see you back in action, getting healthy. Me and my wife enjoy watching your YouTube channel. Hey, wife. Hey, Christopher. You're our favorite G-bag. Anyways, Amigo got a quick question. Give us some top defensive players coming out in this year's draft. I'm not there. Dane Brugler. Look up my guy, Dane Brugler. He's got you. Dane Brugler at The Athletic. He'll take care of you. I'll catch you up in a bit. I'll be there. You stay right here. You'll get the best draft coverage. I'm good at it. Tyler, here's to the COVID recovery, Hefe. My buddy tried to start this whole Gucci DiNucci thing. It hadn't worked out for him. My question for you, out of the 3 glaring needs on Cowboys defense, using the Cowboys' first-round pick, hopefully in the top 10, where's the best value? Linebacker, defensive tackle 1 technique or 3 technique, or corner? Corner would be my hope, but there may not be one worthy of top 10 selection this year. So, okay, this is the draft thing. This is the tricky thing about the draft. In theory, you want to pick the best player, right? Especially if the best player is not blocked on your roster. The Cowboys, I'm trying to think, is there a position anymore where they wouldn't pick? Because once upon a time, you'd say the Cowboys, if the best player is a tackle, they're not taking him because he can't play on this team. Once upon a time, if it was a center, they wouldn't pick him because he couldn't play on this team. But now they don't kind of have the same roster that they did a couple of years ago. So they're more open. But the other thing to factor in is a top 10 pick is going to make a good amount of money. It's a salary cap league. So in a perfect world, you are also going to use that pick on perfect world. He's the best player. He plays a position that is highly compensated in the NFL and is very valuable to winning. For instance, and I don't mean to beat him up over and over again, but I kind of do. Zeke with a top 5 pick. Well, running backs in the league, compared to the premium positions, don't make a lot of money. So Zeke was already a top 5 paid running back in the league on his rookie contract. So you weren't getting great value. He was a really good player, so your value was okay. But great value for a first-round pick is TJ Watt. Picked in the 20s, so his money is not as big as a guy picked in the top 5. And he plays a premier position at edge rusher, and he's great at it for peanuts. So in a perfect world, the Cowboys, if they had a top 5 pick, would get either a quarterback, which let's not go there in this particular video. I'm a Dak guy as well. Pay Dak, trade down, get awesome, get him help. In a perfect world, the guy that's there would either be a pass rusher or a corner. Because corners, when they hit the open market and they're really good, make more than $20 million a year. Pass rushers, same thing. You would want, because now you have drafted a position that, 1, is hard to find great ones at, and 2, they make $20 million if they're great. And you are going to pay them significantly less than that. So that's the idea, is to have your need line up with a valuable position and pick away. Or be captain trade down. The Big Devil Dog. Jeff, I hope you're feeling better. Please tell me, how much longer do we have Randy Gregory under contract for? He's under contract next year for about $2.1 million, so you have him the rest of this year and next year right now. That's where Randy Gregory is on his contract. Alfonso, is Terrence Steele equally bad on pass and run blocking? Well, he's not NFL level at either, but he is a worse pass protector than he is a run blocker. Pass protection would be his bigger weakness. Daniel, hey, Jeff, I hear you say captain trade down. Would you still want to stay in the top 10, or would you be willing to go down as far as top 15 to get more picks, assuming we're picking in the top 5? Thank you, get well. Let me get through the players, because you want to know what you're trading away from. There's 2 different things that are really important when it comes to the draft. 1, I'm going to evaluate the players, and over the last 6 years, I'm pretty good at it. So I'll be pretty confident in how I've evaluated guys, but it also doesn't mean that you won't miss. Everybody does. You will miss. So you got to be careful here because you don't want to trade away from a great player or what you think is a great player if you're not getting good enough value for it. But this is riding the fence a little bit, but it's true. You also don't want to be so locked into what you think of the players and your own evaluations that you ignore history and value. Because history tells us that if you trade down, this is a study I saw on Pro Football Focus, I think a few months ago. Pick any position. Call it a pass rusher, call it a receiver. Just for this exercise, we'll call it a receiver. Somebody trades up with you and picks a receiver. The odds that the next receiver off the board, now remember, you gave things up to go get this one, right? Somebody gave up a bunch to go get this receiver because he's the best one. The odds that the next one taken are better than him, historically, it's coin flip. It's 50-50. So you want to believe in yourself, but don't get so locked into, I can't be wrong, I'll never miss, we've got this, that you forego value. That's why trading down historically is better than trading up, because that's how it works. And now you got another pick, maybe 2 more picks, maybe 3 more picks, and you might have picked a better player later who makes less money. Maybe. I struggle with those things because it's like, all right, Jeff, you evaluate the draft prospects. Let's talk about how you could be wrong and you should trade down even though you think you evaluated the players. And you got to evaluate them. You got to be careful. You got to believe in yourself. But don't get so locked in to I'm never wrong. I can't be wrong. Because remember, you've all been wrong before. I have. We all have. Andrew, hope you have a speedy and full recovery. Jerry has to be looking for a defensive coordinator, right? Please tell me we're not running it back with Mike Nolan, because then it doesn't matter what we do in the draft. Who do you think is a solid, attainable option for us? Again, I know the names. Micah Parsons, Patrick Surtain, Caleb Farley. I know the names, but I don't know the players yet, so I won't go there yet. MC Test Tube wants to trade for Tua. I know a lot of things have to happen for the Jets to not take Lawrence or for the Texans to leap over them. Mainly the Texans not winning again and the Jets winning twice. But if Miami gets that pick and takes Lawrence, would you part with the second, even if it's 35th overall for Tua, and then trade Dak for a bag of picks and also trade back from our draft spot? I know that's a lot, and my questions get long. That's not realistic because what's going to happen in Miami is Tua is going to play the rest of the season, and one of 2 things are going to happen. One, he's going to show the promise they thought he had, and they're not going to be picking a quarterback, even if Houston's pick that Miami has is super high. So either Tua is going to play really well and show a lot of promise, and they're not going to be picking a quarterback, and so they won't be trading Tua, or Tua is not going to play great, and they're going to be in a spot to pick a quarterback. And so now they pick a quarterback, and now you're asking me if I want to trade for a guy whose rookie year didn't show enough promise for that team to want to keep him. And you want me to trade for him and give away or trade away a really good NFL quarterback, to which I say no. So I don't see a scenario where the Tua thing becomes realistic. Dean, what'd you think of Desmond King getting traded for a 6th rounder? Robbery. Highway robbery. Desmond King's been an all-pro. This year, I believe he has allowed the least coverage yards in the entire league. I believe that's Desmond King. I don't know how the hell. What a great trade. 6th-round pick. Rough. Hey, bud. Glad you're doing better. Question. Can you name all the players that you think will be leaving next year and they won't re-sign? Top of my head, Poe's already gone. Guys that'll be leaving. Alden Smith, 50-50. 50-50. Guys who will be leaving. Cheeto, Jordan Lewis, Xavier Woods. So that's 3/5 of your secondary. On the offensive line, your receivers will still be here. Your running backs will still be here. Your quarterback will still be here. Your offensive line. What year is Connor Williams in right now? Was this his last year? Are we in year 3 or year 4 right now? Connor Williams. He's got one more. Okay. So Connor will be here. Tyron will be here. Biotish will be here. Lyle will be here. Martin will be here. Your offensive line will be here. Your receivers will be here. Your tight end will be here. So your entire offense will be back. And on defense, you'll just need 2 defensive tackles, 2 safeties, 2 corners, maybe a linebacker, maybe a D end. No big deal. No big deal. Let me see here. David, love the work. Get well soon. What's your realistic prediction on how many games we'll win this year? Let's see. You're at 2 right now because of stupid watermelon kick. And Andy Dalton making a good pass to Gallup. Idiots. Why'd you do that? I'll say they win 4. I'll say somewhere along the way here they'll win 2 more games. You'll get Dalton back. You still got good receivers. If you can block even okay or less than okay with some of the teams you get to play still, I'll say they win 4 games. What do you think? Leave it in the comments. Also, leave what you want to talk about tomorrow. Make sure you're mashing that thumbs up. And I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Go Cowboys. I love you. Bye.